This second Helix has a slightly different construction technique because I now have a little bit more room between the levels. I can string up the overhead wires for the electrification. I can string up now before putting on the next level. So the electrical supports here also support the next level. They're all of course at the same height, because once you've got the first circle loop done, all the other loops are just the same height from the next loop, so they're all exactly 100 mil, or as close as I can make them, going all the way around. So I can just fit now the second level, loop on top of the supports and screw them in, and we'll continue on for all the other loops the same way. Testing a while ago, carriage here with a pantograph, so I can just test that the pantograph stays in the middle of the wires, or it doesn't bounce off anywhere, so I can test the working of the wires as I go. And on we go, loop by loop. Vlog 15, Helix construction. Basically the construction of the Helix has come to a standstill, screeching standstill, because I've run out of copper wire for the overhead wires, so I can't continue on anymore with the Helix now. I'll have to order some more copper wire. But before I can continue building up the Helix to about this high, I need to complete the scene over here. Let's just have a close-up. The scene here needs to be completed, because that, once the upper level is in and the Helix is up to its full height, that'll be a little bit more difficult to reach. Basically this is a small village, or a few buildings scattered around what will be the centerpiece, which is the feedstock mixing plant. We'll have a grand opening once it's ready. Short explanation of the what I'm calling the feedstock mixing plant. That's this Kibri kit, which I highly recommend, because it's a very well put together kit. You can almost put it together without glue, so well do the joints fit together with little tabs, making nice 90-degree angles and everything. The only thing I did with the model above building it was to weather it a little, because it is very pristine white. So I've weathered the buildings a little bit, and particularly the tanks are painted and weathered. And although it is mentioned as being a flour mill, it could be really any type of industry. I'm using as a feedstock mixing plant. It could be a grain silo. It could be you know, any type of industry. But I highly recommend this kit to add as an industry on a layout. It'll go in there. Weathered up the silos a little bit. They'll go in there, and scratch built a what is supposed to be a molasses tank. And that will go in there, and So we'll have activity basically once a week or something like that. A molasses tanker, painted up one of my oil tankers. A molasses tanker will come in, need to be spotted here for the molasses tank. And some closed cars for basically containing sacks of feedstock, or probably more likely sacks of finished product to go out. And I may bring in open wagons and have under here a pit which will go under the building as a supply of feedstock, etc. So this needs to be completed, and I'm working on this at the moment whilst the Helix is held down. On this side I'm going to attempt to scratch build based on Vinny's good work. I'm going to scratch build something like this, which will be a potato and more likely a sugar beet filling installation. So I can have open cars coming in here in season for sugar beet filling, and this is basically an agricultural produce area. That's why the back scenes are agricultural in nature. Need to complete some roads and some scenes here, the gravestones for the graveyard at the church, and then we'll ballast all this in, and that'll be near completion. Then we can build up the Helix, and then the next level. They're the plans for the coming period.